dropped out of college for a while. And I worked on these iron ore freighters. You know, we go up here and get a whole load, however many thousand tons of this iron ore, and haul it down, throw it in a blast furnace in Buffalo, run back up and get some more. And I used to think, will we ever run out? And I can remember saying to myself, well, Al, you're just a dishwasher. There are smart people in Washington. If there's any danger of running out, they will act rationally and warn us so that we can reduce our consumption. And I'm ashamed to admit how many years it was before I realized that my trust was misplaced. And I suspect that if you ask any of these people on the street about these problems, you'll most likely find that they have faith that somebody intelligent is looking at these things. And that isn't a justified faith. We have to do our own thinking for ourselves. We can't let other people do our thinking for us, because a lot of people have ulterior motives, and they'll try to steer us in the wrong direction. A lot of them don't know what's going on, even though they're in positions of power. The thing that we miss in this country is a national leader in the White House who will go up and say, hey, this is a problem. Look at the numbers. We need to have 2 years to have a national dialogue on the question, what should our future be in order to live within the resources that we have, and to have a good future for everybody. And out of this 2 years of dialogue from coast to coast with political leaders and leaders in all aspects of life, we're going to try to come down with some kind of a reasonable policy statement that we'll use for guidance. 200 years ago, the activities of humans were just an infinitesimal scale compared to the scale of global events and, natural phenomena on the earth. Now we're so big that it's, we couldn't fight World War II over again. It was fought on gasoline. Much of it was from the continental U.S. That's all gone. It's depleted. And right now it's ironic that we're waging war in Iraq using Middle East oil against Middle East people. And no matter what politicians say, a central part of the war is petroleum. Now go broaden your view a little bit and ask about all these global trade agreements that are getting to be somewhat controversial. I think that one of the principal motivations behind the U.S. support for those agreements, and its support from both Democratic and Republican parties, is to allow us to get our hands on their resources before they get developed and want to use them for themselves. We want to go to other countries and take their resources to drive our SUVs. One has to look at things in terms of arithmetic. And the interesting thing is that arithmetic and science that sort of goes with it, these aren't democratic. The three of us can't vote as to whether or not there's global warming and have our vote determine whether or not there's global warming. It's happening whether we vote on it or not. And we have to realize that on these big issues, science doesn't care how people vote. It's just going its own way, responding to the things that we do, the way we insult the environment and so on. And of course, if we don't stop population growth, nature will. And it'll be the four horsemen of the apocalypse. It'll be disease and war and famine, that sort of thing.